Today we are going to learn how to format your IMRD paper. So the first thing that we can see is that I've put this paper together. I have the entire document here. It's approximately 5,048 words. It covers 8 pages. Now, the first thing that we need to do is double space this document. So we're going to go into here and we will highlight the entire document. So I'm just scrolling down. I haven't done a select all because I've got a reference list at the bottom. And I'm going to come over here to, I believe it's layout. Oh, no, sorry. I'm going to right click on it and right click. Then I click on paragraph. And here I'm going to click spacing, line spacing, double. All right, and then I will click OK. And the entire document is now double spaced. So we're going to do that again. So I'm going to go Control Z to undo that. And again, I have highlighted the entire text. I right click. I click down on the word paragraph. And I come over here to line spacing and click double, and then I click OK, and my paragraph has been double spaced. Now, we need to make sure that our margins are 1-inch margins. So we're going to format the document. And when I look at this, margins, I've got it in centimeters now, and 1 inch is approximately 2.54 centimeters. So I can see the top, bottom, left, and right are each set at 2.54 centimeters. I can change it up or down, okay? But I don't want that, so we're going to go back here and we're going to put in 5.4 again, okay? So that we apply to the whole document, right? Not just this part forward, but the entire document. All right, so we're going to click OK. All right, so now our margins are set. We've got the full 1-inch margin. The next thing we want to make sure that our font is 11 point. So we're going to come to the home button here. And as I can see, this font is now 10.5 font. So I am going to click the entire document again. So this time I'm going to hit we're just going to select, oops. We don't want to select the title. We want to come from here and we want to scroll down. So we're just going to highlight and scroll through our paper. And this will change my other document. We're going to leave the reference list alone. At this point, we don't want to make any changes to that just yet. Okay, so we're going to click that. Now I've got the font type as Arial, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on the arrow next to the number and I click 12. All right, so now that changes it to a 12-point font. So I've done the first 3 items on my list for formatting my report. I've double spaced, I've given 1-inch margins, and I've given an 11-point font. If I want to change the font, Arial is a good font, but maybe I want to change to Calibri. So I simply change it, and you'll notice that the font size stays the same. All right. If you want to change to, oh, let's see, I think another one that's quite normal one to be used is, let's see, Times New Roman. So we're going to go down to that. Oh, I've gone into Japanese fonts. Okay, so I'm going to go Times New Roman, and I'll click on regular font. So there we have Times New Roman regular font. But I happen to like Arial, so I'm going to go back to Arial regular. All right, so there we are. So we have an Arial font, double spaced, 1-inch margins, and it is 12 point, not 11. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is enter a cover page, which includes our title, the names and student ID of each writer, the section number, your teacher's name, and the date. So we're going to put our cursor at the beginning of our paper, and in this case it's the title, and I'm going to hit Control Return. Nope. On a Mac you'll hit Command Return or Command Enter. Command Return on a Mac, Control Enter on a PC. So now my font is very large because it's just taking the same font that I had before, which was a different one. We'll change that later. So I'm going to go back to Arial Regular, and I'm going to change my font size to 12-point font again. Whoops. We're going to undo that because I'm in the wrong spot. Put me back here at the title page. So we're going to go Arial Regular, and we're going to go to a 12-point font. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is enter the title of our paper. So my title is this. I'm going to copy it, and we're going to place it right there. Oops. Undo. All right. Okay, we'll just... Oh, I see what I've done. There we go. Right, I've got 2 pages in here, and I've done that. All right, so I'm going to, sorry, I've deleted everything that I've just put in. I'm going to click that, and now I'm going to hit, on a Mac, Command Return. On a PC, it will be Control Enter. All right, so now I'm going to change my font, go back to Home, I highlight it. I'm going to change it back to the Arial that I wanted to begin with, and we're going to change it back to a 12-point font. So now I have my title in here. While I'm doing this, I'm just going to change this font as well to Arial Regular, and we'll make it a 12-point font as well. Okay. All right. So we have the title here. What was that? Right. So we've got the title here, and the next thing we need to do is put the names of all of the students. And you'll see there's a lot of so we're going to delete that and hit enter. I've got some problems going on here. We'll fix that later. So my name is Roxanne Brown, we'll say, and the other one, the other writer we have, let's have 3 of them. We'll have James Dean, and I don't know, who else should we have? Let's have J. McWilliam. Okay, so we've got 3 names, and under this we need to put the student number. So we've got the student number, and this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we enter here, we've got the student number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. And Mr. Williams is, we'll hit enter. Student number 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Okay, so as you can see, this is all double spaced, very large spacing in here, and we don't want this. So we're going to highlight it. We're going to click on it, go back to paragraph, and here we're going to go back, and we have an outline level. It's actually body text is what we want, and again, we want it double spaced. So we're going to click, we'll click OK, and now we have this. All right, so we're going to do this, the same thing here, paragraph, and we will have body text, double spaced, and we'll click OK. All right, so now we've got our title here, we've got the name of each one of the students, and we've got the student ID. Now, just to make it look better, what I think we should do is put this as a single space between each student, okay, and their student ID. So what we can do is we just change all of this section to paragraph. When spacing is single, click OK, and then after each student, we can add an extra space in there. All right, now the next thing we need on here is the section number. So we're going to put EL0200-200B, section T01, or whatever your section number is. Under that, we need the teacher's name. So our name here is Roxanne Miller, and the date of submission the date that I am putting this together is the 18th of January, 2018. Okay, so I want to do it that way. And now we have our page number as it is required. Okay, all right, so it tells me I don't need the comma in there. We'll get rid of it. All right, so we're going to move on. And the next thing that we need to do is include a header with the title of your paper and the name of each of the writers. So we're going to right-click. We're going to insert up here. Okay, and we're going to insert a it's not insert, it is view, header and footer. Okay, so now we have the header here and the footer that we are viewing, and we're going to go into any one of these. So we'll scroll back up to the top of this page, and I'm going to click in the header section, and my title is Lorem Ipsum, and I have Roxanne Brown, James Dean, and J.J. McWilliam. Okay, so we've got all of that in there. Now that is that, so we're going to close that, and we can see that it is on that page, and it's on the next page, and it's on every subsequent page. Now, one thing that you'll notice is that this font is a little bit big, so we're going to highlight it. I'm going to go back to the home, and we're going to decrease the size of this font to about 10, all right? So that there's a difference between that and the actual text itself. Now, the next thing we want to do is put in the page number as a footer. So we're going to go into the footer, and we're going to click here, and we are going to go to header and footer, and we want to insert page number. So we can see page number is here. I'm going to insert the page number and put it on the bottom right, and we'll click OK. So what we have now, unfortunately, is a header on the first page and a page number also on the first page. So what we want to do is we want to format this. So we're going to come in here, we're going to go into the page numbers, and we're going to format page number. And what we would like to do is to start at 0. Okay, so our first page has a page of 0. Again, this is not what we want, so we are going to delete. I'm going to leave that here. All right. Now, in the header, I'm going to go here. And this should be okay. We want a header that is different from the first page. The first page has nothing. So we've clicked that and it says different first page. All right. Now, the same thing has happened. If we go, we can see that we've got the header. Now we're going to close that. So we have no header on our first page. We have no footer. We have no page number. But on the first page of our actual text, we have the header with the title and each of our names. We also have the page number at the bottom, beginning with 0. All right. Now, this is a little bit awkward, so what we want to do is we're going to highlight it, and we are going to make sure that it's centered, okay, which it is, and then we're just going to hit the return button a couple of times to move it down the page a little bit. All right. And that looks like it's a little bit better. It doesn't have to be exact, but you don't want it right at the very top. All right, so we have done that. And when we go to the bottom of the paper, oops, we're going to go all the way down to the bottom. we see that we have a reference list in here. Now your reference list should be on a separate page, so you go to the end of your last section and hit the command return on an Apple or control enter on a PC. And that will give us a new page. Now, once we have completed that, the next thing that we need to do is we need to add our questionnaire and interview guide to this part. All right, so we are going to type in, and one way of doing this is just simply to copy that. All right, come down here. I'm going to enter it again, and we're going to say Appendix 1 questionnaire. All right, and we will capitalize that. All right, and we're going to copy that. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it this way, and remember to change it to Appendix 2, and that is Interview Guide. And we'll come back here, and we get Command Return. That will put us on a new page. Come here, Command Return. So again, a new page. And I'm just going to go back up here and copy some of this text because I don't need it. This is just a false text rather. All right. Okay, so we're going to Command C, copy that, go down here, and our questionnaire, we shall enter it. Okay. Now, I've got too many pages there. I don't need this one, so I'm going to delete it. And that brings me to, Appendix 2, and I'm going to enter it again. This is my questionnaire guide, so I'll delete it, just to make sure that you've got as many pages as you need, and the questionnaire and interview guide is in there. Now, to make sure that you have APA style, please see the video that was discussing how to use references. That can be found on YouTube as well. All right, so now there's one thing that isn't in your instruction sheet, and that is entering the different sections of your paper. So you remember that your paper has 4 different sections. You've got an introduction, so we're going to, we're going to put an introduction on here, and we want to give it a header, so we're going to double click on it, and we'll look at heading 1. That looks pretty good. And we're going to come down here a little ways, and we'll come to right here, and we'll write methods, which is the next section. And again, heading 1, so we're just clicking on the same thing. We're going to put in our results section. Again, heading 1. Go down a little bit further. Have a lot of results that we're going to talk about. And we're going to put in our last section, the discussion. We'll put a heading for that. All right. Now, many papers will have 2 more sections to them, and I personally like this format. So I'm going to put in here my limitations. All right. And again, heading 1. And then I will put in my conclusion. We don't want to do that yet, so we're going to undo that. Easy enough to change things. Double click on it and heading 1. So now I have the document with the reference list that I need. We'll delete that because there's too much space in there. The references, the headings for each of the different sections of my paper, the appendices that I need, the questionnaire and the interview guide. And the last thing for me to do is to look at it and do some proofreading on it and make sure I've got it done the correct way. So here I'm going to give this a heading as well, and then we'll go ahead and center it so that we know it is the title of that paper. You'll notice up here I've got the paper on here, and I've got a quote in here. I'm going to remove this because I have now given myself the title page, so I no longer need that on this page. And we are now good. We have completed the formatting of our IMRD paper. So the only thing left for you to do after you've followed this and done the formatting is to proofread and make sure that you haven't made any errors in language or spelling or grammar. Thank you for watching.